I'm telling you.
No, as a candidate, you have to check your
Call this meeting to order. Please join us for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Here. Ms. Nyler.
Here.
Mr. Scott. Ms. Bradley.
Here.
Mr. Rice.
Here.
Colonel Pete.
Okay, do we have any special recognitions?
Well, we got special guests.
Yay!
Well, they are very special. We have Edison Elementary, who's overcome a flood in a total remodel, and now they're about to get they've got their new fence it's almost complete. So very excited about the new look. So you guys have the stage.
We're going to take this in little bits and pieces at a time. We just want to show off some of the things that we talked about, what makes Edison special. And when I came on, we were totally revamping everything in the school. Anyways, that was 4 years ago. But our 3 words that I kind of look at is flexibility, although sometimes we like to call that the new potty word, because we felt like with COVID and everything else, we're really good at flexibility. Perseverance, because we've overcome a lot. Family and fun, and I say chaos, a little bit of chaos in there too. But what's that without chaos? So if you'll go ahead and do that, and you'll be our clicker, just some fun things of how our staff, we support each other. Teachers, grade levels working together. I know I'm a LPS graduate, and I don't know what came over me to think that I could try to do pom-pom again at 51 years old. But I had lots of people that came out to support me when I did that. So we try to support each other, but I have lots of amazing staff. Our assistant principal, Trevin Wyatt, she's not here tonight, but my kids know my favorite color is leopard. I love it. And so they all know that I say this. So that day we happened to be caught, and we were an opposite leopard print, so even better. Tonight I want to have introduce you to some of our building members, our staff members, and even some students that are going to talk. And right now I want to talk about our counselor corner. This is Michelle Lutmer. Hi. And in this photo that you see, there's a little boy, and he's got his hands like this. Now, I'm early childhood, and when I came from early childhood, you guys have boogers and lots of other things, substances. And so I got this book for Mrs. Lutmer, and it says, "I'm a booger, treat me with respect." And I know it's silly, but kids learn through stories, and our librarian can talk about that also. But in the picture you see what she's doing. I'm gonna let her talk a little about the counselor program, the silly story and how she approaches it, and then also some of the other things that she does.
Okay. Hi. So with this particular lesson, this was with a kindergarten class, and we are using the Hope Rising curriculum, and then we're just adding some of our own things to it. When I did the hygiene, it was a hygiene-based lesson. When I did it with first grade, the video that was embedded in that Hope Rising lesson, I went ahead and used. But the kindergarten one, I wanted a different song and I like to break it up like that. So that's what they're watching in this picture. It's after we did the Hope Rising lesson, and then we were doing this. And then I read the book after that, and then we all used our hand sanitizer, and Mrs. Moore also had bought the candy that you see our little friend holding, and they are called boogers. And so
Gummy boogers.
yeah, so they liked that, and yeah, and so they really enjoyed the story. They enjoyed everything. I mean, they were really engaged the entire time, which is always kind of I don't know how to do that. It's always a good thing when you can get those little kindergartners to stay engaged. So we did enjoy that very much. And then, can you turn? I don't know how to do that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then another thing that I'm doing this year is I started some small groups. And I also have Mrs. Prince, who's our part-time counselor. So she does a lot of the in-class lessons, and I do some as well, but not as many as her. I do all of the small groups that we have right now. So I have a 3rd grade and a 4th grade, girls and boys. So it's 4 different groups, and we do them during the lunch hour so that I don't have to, I'm trying not to interrupt their academic, learning time. So I take them just a little bit early on either side of that, or later on either side. So yesterday we had fourth grade boys, which is one of the pictures up there, and that particular lesson we worked on was on put-ups or put-downs, and what are those, and that's what they came up with on the board. And then the activity we did after they ate lunch is they all had a piece of construction paper, like a third of the big piece, and then they wrote down all of their positive, like what did they have heard someone else tell them as far as a put up, you know, a good thing, a positive thing. And then I read, I had some examples of put downs, things that we hear from other people sometimes. And so every time I would say a put down, they had to tear the paper all the way off and then tear it again and tear it again. And after we did that a couple times, I had them try to put it back together so that they could see, you know, that those words really make a difference and they make a lasting impact. You're not quite the same when you try to put that back together, no matter how careful you are. That damage is still kind of done. So we were kind of focusing on that. I had third grade girls today, and we focused on how to be a good friend, and also we did some I am statements because we were working on self-esteem last week, so we kind of just continued that. So they had talked about good friends, and those are all of their qualities that they think that are found in a good friend. And then my third grade boys, they're a rowdy bunch. So, and those are on Friday. So our boys group is called Guides with Ties. The girls, fourth grade girls and third grade are both called Lunch Bunch. And I kind of changed the third grade boys given some of the things we're trying to accomplish. So now they are, oh gosh, I have it. Self-control is the goal. They're all focusing on some self-regulation. So we are really working hard on that right now with that group. They've all had their challenging moments in class, but they all have these really great qualities that we want to kind of help them, you know, grow while learning some of those self-regulation skills for themselves. So those are some of the things that we're working on right now. Mm-hmm. The Hope Rising? It is, it's a little different, but I'm finding that I do like it. It's a little, okay, so for each grade, it is a little bit higher than what that particular level is at this point. You know what I mean? So depending on what it is, you know, like when I put the lesson up on the smart board for the kids, I just go through it, you know, and I use my own words too, but they can still, you know, and using the 4 main words that are part of every lesson, which are, you know, is hope, willpower, goals, and pathways. And then we kind of just have them repeat it, you know, like at the bottom, at the end of the lesson, it usually says willpower, and then we repeat that all together, you know, say it after me. But, so far I like it.
Good.
It's, and they have good, like, activities sometimes, but if we don't want to use that particular one for that particular class, we can add different stuff in. So I have found that it's not difficult to try to just kind of combine what we have done before and what's worked. So,
like you said on the hygiene, you use the story.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to use the lesson with Hope Rising and then bring in that.
I'm
sort
just
of
pleased
story.
you have a curriculum, because we
Yeah.
tried for many, many years to get
Yeah.
one for counts.
yeah, and we do like it. And they also have like a family, I don't forget what it's called, family engagement page you can print off. So when I did that for kindergartners in the first grade, I gave the teachers, you know, a copy so that they could put that on their, you know, however they communicate with their class or on their Facebook page, just so the parents could see, try not to run off all those pages.
Yes.
So I just want them to post it there so that they can see what we worked on, you know, and how they can actually help or talk to their kids in the appropriate way too. You know, the kindergartner can't talk about, you know, hygiene in the same way a fifth grader can,
Right.
hopefully.
And Michelle and Jerry Prince have done a great job teaming together,
Worked with
working on these social emotional lessons, but we also had a lot of, well, some things were damaged, but we had some a sensory
yeah.
bike, a sensory little flooring
Trampoline.
pad, we've got a trampoline, and some of those things you don't realize how moisture can bother those.
Yeah.
And when you get those unpacked, and now it's time for us to look at getting some new
I
ones,
got
so
it.
we'll
Yes.
be looking at
Thank you.
that, so.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, these are just some events I wanted to show you. Football and cheer, we have some of our cheerleaders here. Mandy Carnwright, she is our attendance secretary. She's who greets you when you come to the door. And we have some of our cheerleaders here. One student council, Aubrey. and Cadison, and we'll talk to them in just a minute. But football and cheer we still have at Edison, and then we felt that it was really important to continue with bringing arts into the schools. And Oklahoma Lyric Theater does a great job, and it's a free opportunity to come in. And this year, the theme is Oklahoma, and they get the kids up and in there. And what we've realized, especially with COVID, is we have many kids, they don't know how to sit in an audience. They're used to getting up, running around, and going crazy. And in a big area, it's a little bit different. But they loved it, and to have these guys just bust out in song, and our kids get up there and join in and singing and dancing with them. So the other thing, we have high school heroes. And just yesterday, when Ms. Letmer talked about the kiddos that we have that are quite rowdy and rambunctious, we partnered with Eisenhower High School. I mean, they were right across the street from us. On the first day of school, we had some football players. They came in, and our little ones are looking up at them like, wow. But having them come in and see our kids. Yesterday, the head basketball coach at Eisenhower, his mom is actually one of our teacher assistants, so that was kind of a cool thing. Came in and talked to our kids about having good attitude, behavior, and a reason to keep up grades, not just for sports. That was one of the hardest things he said, is checking grades on these kiddos, but having good behavior. Then we also have some students from VOTEC and then the high schools that are in the teacher prep programs, and they're coming into the classroom. So I thought that was really cool that we have these high school heroes, that they're looking ahead and making those career decisions and kind of, life ready, what are we going towards? So this has been, we started this year because it's always been a real rough thing, and I know like Ms. Carnwright can talk about this with being a military family. We have so many, when Grandparents' Day comes around, even my parents live in Ohio, so my parents couldn't take part of her things. So we found this, and it was read and recess with relatives. So we had them just come up. It was great. We had books on the playground. They had chairs out there, but to have them run and play, and so many grandparents said they absolutely loved it. So next year it'll be bigger and better. We also talked about maybe doing another one in the spring, because they really enjoyed it. Because if they didn't have grandparents, parents even said, well, can I come because her parents don't live here? Yes. What about aunt and uncle? I know, I said Miss Carnwright, Miss Debbie, the other secretary, she went out to be grandparent to Cadison and Ellen. So kind of cool. And that's it. Next one. And these are just some more pictures of that, how when I talk about family, we really help each other. Cooking in the classroom is huge. We try to do, coming from early childhood, I believe those developmentally appropriate practices, guiding through in all grade levels, is truly key. And Dr. Ritchie will talk about that in just a minute with Makerspace. But hands-on cooking in the classroom, you can see some of our kids, they were cutting up the apples, lots of manipulative and getting their fingers dirty and playing. So these are some more of the primary ones. That's it, more classroom fun. And then Makerspace. So.
All right, so I have Makerspace. Talk about Makerspace. So this is my first year in Makerspace, my second year in Lawton. I have loved this year doing Makerspace. I've had so much fun. So the goal obviously is to bring in that engineer design process, have them design and create, and tie it into the science standards. So we have done a lot of that, and you can see from the pictures we have, they've made instruments, we've done force and motion, I think I have some lights and stuff there too. And you want to tell us what your favorite thing about Makerspace is this year?
We had an experiment where we used yeast and in a plastic bag and used different types of minerals to see what the outcome was in a different hour, and to see which one did the least of just sat there, or the one that did the most and kind of became crystallized and stuff.
Then it also released that carbon dioxide into that bag, and so the bag's expanded too, so they could see kind of how the fermentation of yeast happens. So yes, and then you want to talk about the other thing?
That we're about to have a cardboard boat race, and I just made mine, and I think 5th grade and through 3rd grade did it too, and yeah.
So he got to do it last year. He was on the team last year.
Lots of duct tape.
I'm doing it. I know it's a little bit different, but obviously, I had Miss Pennington did it last year as well, so I kind of have her to go with. But I had them make a model to kind of go with the engineer design process so they can see how making a model, then you create a bigger model. And that's kind of how I'm picking my teams, because I'm watching to see how they're working and how they're designing. And so they use note cards and tape, and then we're going to test it out, and I'm going to kind of pick my team based off that. So I have lots of miniature boats in my room right now.
When's
to
the
test
boat
out.
race this year?
It is in January.
Okay.
So
That's a
we're-
lot of fun to go to, guys.
Yes. So
It was great too that they were able to, what do you call it? I can't even stream it, so we could watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember
yeah.
watching in my office and watching Grayson kind of go down.
Grayson kind of sucked, because I remember that.
Yeah, good fight.
Yeah. So it was good. It was
Cool.
good.
And I'm competitive, so we'll see. But yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Grayson.
Thank you, Grayson.
Grayson's one of our 4th grade students at Edison. Okay.
Hi, I'm Caroline Pennington, the Library Media Specialist at Edison. I just wanted to include some pictures from the library where students were caught reading. And then our library media assistant, Ms. Pendergrass, we were doing stations in the library, so she was one of the stations teaching about book care and using shelf markers, so I thought that was a good picture. And you'll see it in a minute, but we have a little playhouse area that's cushioned so they can sit in a little reading area and sofas, so you'll see more of that. So,
This was the before.
most of the time I wanted to spend talking about is the flood and the whole process. So this is during, the day after it flooded, we all drove up in there in the snow and ice, and it came to this. So there was water in the hallway, in the library, we were squeegeeing it out.
And it was freezing.
It was freezing.
Waiting for the next storm to hit.
So this is, during the renovations, they completely gutted everything, all the shelves, carpet, so it's empty and you can see kind of like a panoramic.
And now after.
So this is after. Fall's my favorite holiday, so I love to decorate for fall. Just
Come
have
visit and see it.
yes,
Because
pictures
it really
don't
is
do it
beautiful.
justice.
It's beautiful.
I wanted to create, a comfortable kind of hub of the school where everybody was welcome, and so it really has increased people coming to visit. We have little bistro tables at the front, so if we have any visitors that need extra space, they come to sit in there, or to help with testing, tables for the kiddos, a play area, reading area, our rug. So it's really an amazing place to be, and it was definitely chaos
Yes.
and stressful
She
getting
went
there.
from, in December, when that happened, she had not been in the
I started
position.
in January, and
In
this
January.
happened, 2 days after
Yeah.
Valentine's Day?
Or
So,
February,
yeah,
yes.
a good month and a half of being a librarian, so it's good experience.
We shed
I-
a lot of tears.
Yes, I do not want to box up 7,500 books again,
Yeah.
but from that chaos led to something beautiful. So I don't think I would change it because the kids love it. Everybody that comes in, it's very comfortable, and I'm very proud of it.
I go in there too and get library books for Makerspace, so I try to also make that literature connection to our Makerspace lessons and science and stuff. So a few that I've done actually this week with my younger grades, I've been doing force and motion. So the big pumpkin had to do with like pulling and pulling and pulling the big pumpkin. So then we applied it into a real life experience, and then the shadow books, I would read them a book, and then we would do some science with that. So
We look forward to collaborating all year together. It makes it fun.
All right. Reading, writing, math, again, this is just hands-on, some pictures. And I'm gonna ask my kiddos that are speaking to come on up here real quick. Come on up here. They're looking at the pictures that way.
Looking at the pictures, yeah.
Go ahead and push that. Which one are you pushing? Okay. Principal pals, we're always proud of our principal pals. But it's okay. It's okay. Yep, okay. You're with us, you're okay. So, a lot of these are our own children. Grayson is Miss Lutmer's son. We have Cadison, who is Miss Carnwright's daughter, and Jaden is Miss Graham, our resource teachers. So we recruited them. But Aubrey is one of our cheerleaders, and she's our newly elected vice president of our student council. So they are gonna talk for just a minute about the things that they love about Edison.
Okay, so what is your favorite thing about Edison?
My favorite thing about Edison is GT and all the things we do, and helps us deal with our frustration and helps us find ways to solve problems.
Great.
Good
All right,
job.
Katie, what's your favorite thing about Edison?
I like music class and how it teaches us how we can be on beat even if it's hard for some people.
Fantastic. What about you, Autumn?
I like PE because we get to do physical activities.
I don't know, I saw some yoga and stuff going on in the library the other day too. Y'all rolling around. Oh, that was stop.
That was stop, drop, and roll. I didn't bless you with that video
yeah.
today.
You want to tell me, how did you like, because this is the first year you got to run for student council, right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
hers was a little bit
How did you like
different.
that?
Tell them
It's-
what we had to do since you were not able to do your speech.
So like I had to write this poster, and then I wasn't there, and they had to like read it for me.
So, we also used the green screen from Makerspace and used a virtual background, made it all patriotic, so the students got to view the videos and vote, so that was really cool, so, yeah.
So we're excited about that. Thank you, friends. You want to tell anything else about student council? No, you're good. Okay. No, we're very proud of our kids, and to watch where we were talking about this today, where it was at Edison when I got there versus where it is now, and you can walk in, and now it's even more beautiful than before. And just again, that family. We look out for each other, and we take care of each other. We laugh and we cry together, and we want the best for our kids. So learning is what makes the world go round for us, and that's what we keep doing every day. So, as we said, one of my favorite quotes, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, by Helen Keller. So thank you, LPS, for supporting us. And we still have the CAFA gymatorium, so I'm not I'm ready for the gym, okay? I say that big long word. But thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to present.
Good job. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Dana and crew. We really appreciate you all. Okay, let's
See,
see.
Kevin's got some more.
Kevin, do you have something else?
Yep, got some good news. Just for a quick update, MacArthur, the ladies, they won their volleyball tournament today against Glenpool. They won the match 3-1. And they will be in the semifinals of the state tournament tomorrow at 2 o'clock in Noble. So congratulations, Lady Highlanders, and we're excited for you. And also today, it was an honor for me, myself, but an Oklahoma Medal of Honor recipient, Master Sergeant Earl Plumley, was at the Life Ready Center, and he spoke to our ROTC students and to our leadership students from all three high schools.
Good.
He was awesome. He did a great job. We got him on the podcast. I challenge you to watch the podcast. He himself was on there for a few minutes, and then we brought in 6 of our leaders. Last time we had 6 young ladies. This time we had 6 young men, and they talked a little bit about what they thought about him. Very exciting. Should come out tomorrow. It'd be my guess with that podcast, but we're excited about that. So he talked about kind of what he went through to win that Medal of Honor, and it was very, very interesting. The kids loved it. So, and that's the good news of the day.
Cool. Okay, let's go down to sanctioning.
Superintendent's
Oh,
report.
you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
That was mine. I'm sorry.
Sanctioning, Eisenhower High School basketball boosters. Okay, we'll need this in the form of a motion, right, Kevin?
Yes.
There's like 9 of them.
Yep.
9?
There's
Oh.
all the ones listed. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, do we do them all together or
Yes.
separate?
Motion.
Okay, I need a motion.
Motion we approve.
I second it.
Okay, call the roll.
Ms. Gladfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Abstain?
Ms. Bradley?
Yes,
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
great. Okay, now we'll go to our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda unless anybody needs anything removed. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Gladfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nywer?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Okay, do we need an executive session?
No, ma'am,
Did I skip something?
no, ma'am, you're good.
Okay.
12A.
12A. Okay, the approval of the superintendent's personnel report.
I'll move for approval. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
make a motion, we approve the superintendent's report, Exhibit A and B.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Gladfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nywer?
Yes.
Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Okay, our next board meeting is November the 7th at 5:15. I can't believe it's already November.
I can't either.
All right, so, anyway, do we have any more announcements? I'd like to remind everybody that the Lawton Public Schools Foundation is still selling the tickets till, I think it's the end of October, I think.
No, they're not in November.
In
November.
November, okay,
After
great.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, and they are $50. There'll be 2,500 tickets sold, and thanks to Classic Chevrolet and the Randalls for donating that truck to the foundation, because all the money will be given to teachers. So I urge you to support that if you at all can. And do we have anything else, Mr. Heim?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We're adjourned.
That's adjourned.
Great.